Talking to yourself. Alright, let's be honest. If you've ever been caught mumbling to yourself in the kitchen, people probably assumed you'd finally lost it. But talking to yourself is actually a sign of higher intelligence. See, when geniuses mutter out loud, they're not just being weird, they're literally organizing their thoughts in real time. Think of it like running your brain's software update through your mouth. Einstein did it, Nikola Tesla did it, and honestly, half the great minds in history probably looked like crazy people pacing around and whispering equations to themselves. Talking out loud helps you problem solve faster, remember things better, and sometimes even calm your nerves. It's basically free therapy and brainstorming rolled into one. So the next time you catch yourself muttering like a cartoon villain, don't worry, you might just be smarter than you think. Obsessive daydreaming. People think daydreaming means you're lazy or not paying attention. But some of the smartest people alive are professional daydreamers. While the rest of us are staring at spreadsheets, geniuses are zoning out, mentally building empires, rewriting history, or imagining what happens if you put a toaster on the moon. And it's not entirely useless. When your brain wanders, it starts connecting random dots that would never meet otherwise. That's how Newton accidentally discovered gravity, staring at apples, and how countless inventors got their light bulb moments. So yeah, it looks like you're just staring at the ceiling doing nothing, but inside, your brain is basically running 1,000 simulations. Doodling randomly. So you're sitting in class or at a boring meeting, and instead of paying attention, you're drawing spirals, stickmen, or maybe a suspicious number of eyeballs in the corner of your notebook. Everyone assumes you're distracted. But would you believe doodling is actually linked to sharper focus and creativity? When geniuses doodle, it's not about the drawing, it's about giving the brain a backdoor to think. By scribbling nonsense, you're freeing up mental space, which lets your mind solve problems in the background. Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks are filled with doodles, gears, wings, bizarre human sketches, and those random drawings eventually led to some of the greatest ideas in history. Questioning obvious rules. You know that one kid in class who always asked, "But why?" even when the teacher just wanted to move on. Yeah, that's the kind of energy geniuses carry into adulthood. While most people accept rules as they are, brilliant minds can't help but poke holes in them. It's not about being difficult, it's about curiosity. Why does money have value? Why do we measure time the way we do? Why can't we fly to Mars already? Questions like these sound annoying in the moment, but they're the exact reason society evolves. Every major breakthrough started with someone refusing to accept, because that's just how it is. So if you're the type who questions obvious rules, don't feel like a troublemaker. You're probably just running on the same operating system as the world's biggest innovators. Collecting random, useless knowledge. Some people treat trivia like junk food for the brain, but for geniuses, it's a full meal. They'll know the migration patterns of penguins, the history of medieval torture devices, and 47 facts about mushrooms, none of which seem useful, until suddenly they are. This habit looks strange from the outside, but it's actually fuel for creativity. Genius thinking thrives on connecting wildly different ideas. That useless fact about Roman concrete might combine with modern chemistry and lead to a breakthrough in architecture. Or that random obsession with Greek myths could end up shaping an entire career in storytelling, psychology, or philosophy. So if your brain is basically a junk drawer of obscure knowledge, don't worry, it's not clutter, it's potential waiting to collide. Contradicting themselves. Ever met someone who argues passionately for one idea, then the next day flips and argues the exact opposite with the same energy? It seems flaky, but for geniuses, this isn't indecision, it's flexibility. Smart people know the world isn't black and white, so they try on different viewpoints like outfits. One day they're convinced free will is an illusion. The next, they're defending human choice like a lawyer in court. Sounds contradictory, but this mental back and forth actually sharpens their thinking. By exploring both sides, they spot weaknesses, discover new insights, and sometimes even create entirely new perspectives no one else considered. So if you find yourself constantly contradicting your own opinions, don't panic. You're not confused, you're just rehearsing brilliance from every angle. Overexplaining in their head. You ever catch yourself replaying the same argument in your head, but this time you've got way better comebacks? Or rehearsing a conversation you haven't even had yet? Word for word, like you're training for a debate championship. That's the genius habit of mental overexplaining. It looks neurotic, sure, but what's really happening is your brain is running practice rounds. By overexplaining in your head, you're sharpening logic, testing ideas, and preparing for 10 different outcomes at once. That's why smart people often sound quick on their feet. They've already had the conversation a dozen times in their mind. Finding patterns everywhere. You ever notice how some people can't stop seeing connections in everything? Like they'll point out how the stock market graph looks suspiciously like a mountain range, or how your daily routine matches the life cycle of a cicada. To most, it's overthinking. To geniuses, it's pattern recognition. This weird habit is actually the foundation of science, math, and art. Spotting shapes in the stars gave us constellations. Spotting rhythms in sound gave us music. Spotting hidden structures in chaos gave us quantum physics. Geniuses can't help but see the invisible threads tying things together. So yeah, it might look like conspiracy theory energy when someone says everything is connected, but sometimes that's exactly how the world's biggest discoveries are born.